Hey guys, Elias here, and in this very quick video, or hopefully quick video, I'm going to be talking about my views and my first impressions on the game No Man's Sky. So a couple of disclaimers first, is that I have not been following this game since its inception a year or whatever, however long ago, and the only real thing I've even heard of about the game is of course about the death threats that the reporter, the journalist at Kotaku, and the developers themselves received when they said that the game had been delayed yet again. And I think that is, I don't condone that at all. I think that's absolutely disgusting that happened. But that's about all I knew about the game. In fact, the first time I heard about it, I thought it was a demo for Star Citizen. So this video is going to be about my views as an average casual gamer and someone that is totally neutral to the game. Now, I have seen the couple of videos that Jim Sterling and TotalBiscuit have released on the game recently, and I pretty much agree with, after having now played the game, I can actually agree with a lot of the things that they have said. Now the major thing is that I'm playing the PC version with the latest patch that supposedly fixes a lot of the issues that were presented on launch, because of course this is a port from PS4, and like a lot of other users, I have been getting mouse problems. 1 minute my mouse flies across the screen and the next minute it's as slow as a slug, and I've also been getting extreme low quality texture problems, massive pop-in, shoddy texture pop-in, and of course insane FPS hitches, lags, drops, whatever you want to call it, insane FPS problems. Now, Jim Sterling did actually refer to this game as Sporecraft, and after having played the game for a few hours now, I can actually agree with that statement. So getting into the mechanics of the game and the style and whatever of the game, I would say that there's two main parts of the game. One of that is exploration. One of those is exploration, and the other one is resource gathering, inventory management, crafting, etc. So I'm going to go off with exploration first. The exploration part of the game is very lackluster, because this is going to tie in with my thoughts on the graphics style and of course the procedurally generated blah 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 of the game. So the exploration is meh. It's average. It's not great, but it's not terribly bad. Now the problem is, of course, is that a lot of these planets, in fact I think every planet, relies on a certain algorithm while it's being generated. And this leaves us with the problem that a lot of the planets look exactly the same. They have the same feel, they have the same atmosphere, not atmosphere as in scientific atmosphere, but the same atmosphere as in feel of the actual planet. A lot of the planets that have a lot of vegetation look exactly the same, except of course that the color palette's slightly different. It's a slightly darker shade of green. There's some sort of greeny fog thing going on which is supposed to emulate radiation or corrosive atmosphere. The rocky planets still have all the same resources. The planets with a lot of foliage, the green planets, have the same resources, and the planets with a lot of with water have the same water, they have the same underground stuff, they have the same resources. Planets are basically the same. Not to mention the fact that every single planet, we're talking about, No Man's Sky is said to have like 16 billion planets or something ridiculous. the problem is that every single one of these planets somehow has some sort of alien colony, research station, trading post, etc. on them, which I find to be totally immersion breaking, because I don't think that 16 billion planets could be colonized. And also, they all seem to have these weird defense drone sentinel things, and I mean that is on every single planet, which just ruins the immersion. Now, talking about NPCs, they are all very static, and the universe feels dead. It feels like it's not inhabited. Now, the funny thing is that I would prefer for the game to be nearly 100% uninhabited, and then have 10, 20, 30 NPCs on a space station, just passing through for trading, fueling up their ships and etc. That would be more immersive. However, it seems that the space stations have one NPC. Every single planet has one NPC. You don't ever see ships flying around in space near the space stations. You may seem like these weird cargo ships with a couple of enemy fighters or whatever going around, but they're so weirdly placed it doesn't make sense. And again, like I said, the space stations, you go in there, you talk to an NPC, except you can't talk to an NPC because you have to first pay him with resources to unlock the dialogue option, which in my opinion is stupid. That's not how it would work. I don't want to have to pay 50 to 100 carbon just to talk to every, to a single NPC, and then have to do that for 1,000 different NPCs. It doesn't make sense. Although I say resources, the race that I encountered uses resources, but some others use credits, some others use other things, computer components. Why do you have to pay an NPC to talk to him? And then when you complete a dialogue option, you have to pay him again to sort of reset him, to then talk to him again, which is stupid. And the same thing goes for those on the space stations and those on the planets themselves. And it makes no sense. It makes no sense in my opinion whatsoever. So that's my views on that. Not to mention that when you first arrive in a space station, there's only you and that one static NPC that doesn't move or do anything. Then when you come from talking to the NPC, you'll maybe find that there's 8 or 9 ships parked in the space station, which is a lot more immersive in my opinion. But the problem is, the immersion goes and gets broken again by the fact that the NPCs don't actually get out of their ships, they don't walk around, they don't go to the trading post, they don't do anything. They sit in their ships, and then to talk to them you have to walk up to the ship, interact with it, and then you get like a weird PNG image overlay of the actual captain of the ship, the pilot of the ship, who will then give you dialogue options for trade, buy a ship, etc, etc, etc. Which again is immersion breaking and just looks stupid. Sorry about that. Now on to the crafting and resource management. I would say, in my personal opinion again, that I find that this game is the crafting and resource gathering and etc. That part of that mechanic is like a watered down Minecraft. Now people are going to hate on me for saying that, but Minecraft's mechanics are actually a lot more complicated than this. Minecraft, you need to make the shovel to get the dirt and the sand, you need to craft the pickaxe to get rocks and ores, you have to craft the axe to get this, that and the other, to get the wood. In this game you have one multi-tool that does everything. Oh, not to mention in Minecraft, I forgot to mention that for Minecraft you also need a sword to kill mobs. In this game you have one multi-tool, like a weird pistol thing that I don't think you can change or do much with. You can upgrade it to put grenades or something on it, and upgrade the beam strength. But you have this one multi-tool that does everything, and that's it. And then you go around collecting all these resources to be used to upgrade your ship, and to be honest, the only things you need for your ship are the hyperdrive, the launch thrusters, and the booster. That's it, that's all you need. The rest of the resources are going to be used for fuel and keeping you alive while you go around on these planets to get more resources to refuel your ship. That's it. That's the game basically. I mean, you can craft a couple of stamina upgrades, you can craft a couple of shield upgrades, beam upgrades, but that's about it. And then we get on to this survival mechanic. And to be honest, this survival mechanic with your suit running out of power, your shield running out of power and having to be refueled, it feels tacked on. And it feels tacked on so that the resource gathering in the game you feel like the resource gathering in the game has a purpose because of this tacked on survival system. And yeah, so would I remove the survival system? No, because if I did, then I would feel like the resource gathering is pointless, or near enough pointless. I mean, you get your ship up into space, and you can farm all the plutonium and thurium-9 or whatever it's called to keep your ship afloat, or in space for as long you want, and you'd never have to touch down on a planet, and the whole game would be just pointless. And yeah, that's how I look at it. And the survival system, this game, I've been seeing this game being called chill and relaxing, and yeah, it is. It is very relaxing. You can just plod along, gather your resources, go up into space, visit a couple of planets, go back down to a planet, gather more resources, and plod around. But while you're doing this, what happens? Beep, beep, beep. Your life support is low. And it sort of adds this weird sense of urgency to the game that doesn't fit in a chill, relaxed, laid-back, casual game like this. I mean, the music is soft and beautiful, and the scenery is nice to look at. I mean, I do like the graphic style of the game, I have to admit. But this survival, like I said, this survival part feels tacked on. It's like I said, you want to walk around, enjoy the exploration, visit the planets, look at them, and then you get the beep beep beep. You are under attack from these flying sentinel things, or beep beep beep, your life support system is low, which adds a weird sense of urgency, like I said, that just doesn't feel like it belongs in the game at all. So, touching on the graphical style, this is where I feel that Spore comes in. I feel like this is the space age part of Spore, but in first person. The graphics fit, the creatures that you find on the planets, the animals you find on the planets look like they were made in Spore Creature Creator. The graphic style reminds me a bit of Spore, and like I said a couple of seconds ago, it feels like it's the space age part of Spore, but in first person, and so it's just weird. So now I'm going to come to my overall view of the game, and that is that I feel like, I don't think I really touched on it, but the space exploration feels like a much lesser version of the GOG/Steam release Rebel Galaxy, which didn't get anywhere near the hype that this game got. And I feel like the space part, which is basically the whole game of Rebel Galaxy, was done to a much better standard than the space part of No Man's Sky. I feel like the exploration part, which I've compared to Spore and also to Rebel Galaxy, was done much better in those games. And I feel like the crafting and resource gathering, which I've compared to Minecraft, was done much better in Minecraft than it is in this game. So what I'm saying is, I feel like this game is an amalgam of Rebel Galaxy, Minecraft and Spore, but it's not enough of any one of those games. It falls flat. That may be because a lot of the features that were supposedly promised, I don't know, are missing from the game. They may be added in DLC or whatever, but at the moment I feel like the game just falls flat of... I don't know what to say really, it just feels like it's missing something, like it's heavily lacking something that would make it so great. I mean, I don't know why, but I feel like 1 minute I'm just bored of the game, I play it for 20 minutes and I'm just bored. Like I feel like I've done everything the game has to offer, but I keep going back because it's just relaxing. But yeah, I have to agree with Jim Sterling that I feel that the game is just lacking something, and it, for me personally, even though I love sci-fi games, I love exploration, like I've played hundreds of hours of Spore, I've played thousands of hours of Minecraft, and I played a couple of hundred, or about 50 to 100 hours of Rebel Galaxy. Yet this game, I'm just not getting into it as much. Yeah, I keep going back to it every couple of hours, but I'm not playing it flat out for 20 hours at a time like I would with Spore, Rebel Galaxy or Minecraft. It's just not gripping me. I keep going back, but it's just not gripping me. So yeah, would I recommend getting this game? At the current price tag, no, especially on PC. If the price dropped to $25 to $35, I would recommend getting it on PC. And if it dropped to if it dropped to about 40 on PS4, then yes, I would recommend getting it because the game actually works properly on PS4. It doesn't work properly on PC, or for a lot of PC players, it doesn't work properly at the moment. So unless it dropped to $25, $30, $35, I wouldn't recommend getting it. So that sums up my neutral viewpoint on No Man's Sky. I feel like it just falls flat. It just lacks something. So I can already feel like there's going to be a hate war going on in the comments. If I do see that, I'm just going to disable the comments. I don't care, or I'll delete them. But I only, this is just my honest opinion on the game from a neutral, non-follower, average casual gamer's viewpoint. So yeah, that sums it up. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in another Guild Wars 2 video sometime in the future.